to the big show. I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is my tag team partner, Dan. Hey, they're all pro running back, they're all pro quarterback, and they're all pro linebacker, all standing on the sideline. Some folks were just about ready to give up on the Buffalo Bills, like Marv Levy. Well, there's a lot of time left, the Bills coach says, he said to himself, but we have about the same chance of winning the New York lottery. Marv, in a moment, today's winning lotto numbers. Were the Bills in trouble early? They were still arguing over Thurman Thomas's helmet from the Super Bowl. Warren Moon back in command and all over the place, going up top to Curtis Duncan, 28-3 at the half. Jim Kelly then trying to fire up his fill-in Frank Reich, who was at this point bringing back precious memories to Buffalo fans of Dan Dara. Bubba McDowell takes the tip off Keith McKellar's hands, and it's 35-3 Houston. He could go, you know, on the sidelines, Levy not thinking lotto at all. Instead, he's saying, God bless America. The Bills were, as Dickens wrote, dead as a doornail, but they revived onside kick at 35-10. The kicker, Steve Christie, recovers. Then Reich found Don Beebe just back from the tour of the neighborhood around Rich Stadium. The Oilers have gotten bad calls in the playoffs dating back from Mike Renfro in '80. They got another one. Beebe came back in from out of bounds. He was no more eligible than Beebe Rebozo. Hey, look, my poster shrunk. At 35-24, gutsy call, gutsy play. Wright goes for it on fourth and hits Andre Reed again, and suddenly the Bills are back within 4 points. Then a disaster for the Oilers. Field goal holder Greg Montgomery, that's why they call it a pigskin, squirts away. Bills get the chance to go ahead.
Waiting for the snap. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right. Back to throw. He looks, he throws. Touchdown! Andre Reed for the touchdown!
Buffalo 38-35. Then Houston's comeback. 4th and 4. Waiting moments. The line gives Moon a month. And he finds Webster Slaughter, setting up the field goal that sends us to OT. And in the overtime, another dubious call. Moon is looking for Ernest Gibbons, but Ernest is being delayed. Darryl Talley is now living on his back. No call, interception, Nate Odoms. And moments later, the Buffalo Bills come back for the ages, and aging everybody is complete.
Adam Langner ready to snap it back. It's 38-all. Bills can win it here. Wright puts it down. The kick is on the way, and it is good. And the Bills have won it. The Bills have won it.
In the losing cause, Moon was an amazing 36 for 50 for 371 yards and 4 touchdowns. But the Oiler defense apparently left for Miami at halftime, a little prematurely. So Reich, who led Maryland back from 31 down 8 years ago, best college comeback next to the one by Morehead State, now has this feather in his cap. The Bills come back better is what the Niners did a dozen years ago last month, rallying from down 35-7. And in playoff competition, forget it. Only one team had ever come back from even 20 points down. It was the Lions of Bobby Lane against the Niners in 1957. And before you start saying nasty things about the Oilers have already said them all.
People say you really can't say no next year, you know. I don't know what's going on. It's as simple as that. We choked. We choked as a team. We choked as management. Everyone in this organization is choked.
When the team scores like 4 or 5 touchdowns in 7 minutes, I mean, you can't even chalk it up to our ineptness. You more have to chalk it up to them executing. So they really played well.
If there was any breakdown, any part of our football team in that second half, we wouldn't have won the football game. And it took almost perfect execution on all 45 players out there in the second half to win, and that's what happened.
We don't have any quitters on this team, and the guys on the team were just so encouraging, kept me up when it could have been real easy to get down, especially after the interception to start the second half. But you know, it was a very emotional, still is a very emotional time for me.
Notice nowhere in there did the Oilers blame the refs, even though they may have had cause. Hats off to them for that, at least. It was not hats off, but heads off after the Oilers started their El Foldo. Most telling of the numbers, third down conversions dropped from 5 of 7 to 1 of 7, although Warren Moon did convert the vital 4th and 4 on the way to the tying field goal. So here is next weekend in the AFC. The Bills, presumably with Reich still in the driver's seat, travel to Pittsburgh for one AFC semifinal game. That is the early Saturday game, 12:30 Eastern. And then the Bill Arnsparger
Oakland Raiders 27-10 in Super Bowl 15. 13 years later, Philadelphia's opponent in the Superdome was the Saints team, still searching for its first ever playoff win. This was a rematch from Week 1, won by the Eagles 15-13. The 3 knockdown rule in effect in this one. First quarter, Bobby Hebert is scrambling, looking for Eric Martin. It's incomplete, but they whistled Mark McMillan for interference that led to a 1-yard ironhead score, 7-0 Saints. But the Eagles would strike back. Randall says, I'm going to call my own play here if you don't mind. And he does. He goes up top to Fred Barnett, who's been non-existent for the last couple of weeks, but had a tremendous day today. We're tied at 7. 10-7 Saints in the second quarter when Hebert looks up top for that former Iowa Hawkeye, and clearly he's got it. 17-7 Saints. Then the Saints special teams get into it. Vi asked Vi. Sikahema gets nailed by Patrick Newman. Says, take that, your own version of the punching bag. 17-7 at the half. Second half, the Eagles driving. Randall gets nailed by Ricky Jackson. Wayne Martin recovers. The Saints would tack on a field goal. They led 20-7. It was 20-10 when Randall looks deep and finds Fred Barnett in one of the prettiest catches of the year. It's 20-17 Saints. The Eagles D then stepped it up a notch. Hebert scrambling. Bobby would like to have this one back. This is the worst one he threw all day. Seth says, thank you very much. That's why I'm an all-pro. Joyner takes it back deep into Saints territory, setting up this play. Heath Sherman? Yes. Not Herschel. Heath gets in. Went over 100 yards on the day. Eagles go up 24-20. Saints trying to come back. Hebert, that's Reggie. That's a safety. That's the ball game. They would tack on another touchdown. Eric Allen returned a late pass or score to seal it. They also added a field goal, 36-20 the final. Heath Sherman doing the yeoman's work in the fourth quarter. 105 yards, had the touchdown. Herschel Walker, 2 carries, 4 yards. Philadelphia scored 26 points in 8 minutes and 20 seconds of that fourth period. Randall, 2 touchdowns, 219 yards, their first playoff victory in over a decade. Following the game, the Saints expressed their disbelief.
We had our opportunity, and we didn't take advantage of it. I mean, we had a chance to win this ball game and put this ball game away, and we let those guys haul around.
For us to come down here and get this win, and go on the streak that we're on, 5 in a row, it should do well accomplished.